Hi everyone. I hope this finds you well and that life is being good to you. So the topic today, divorce. I know, right? Just the word. I would say that on its best day, the word divorce, it's a trigger word. It has a lot of charge, carries a lot of power. And what's brought me to take it on and talk about just the word divorce. Okay, I'm just going to do the word because the topic itself is huge and I could go on for hours around all the facets. But just the word, it's important. And I'm finding that in my conversations with both clients and just people in everyday life, ever since my own divorce, especially 5 years ago. I've been asked more times than I can count. Quite literally, I do not remember many times I've had this conversation of, well, how did you know when it was time to leave? And how did you do it? And they're just simply stunned because it's just apparently inconceivable to leave a relationship unless it's on fire, unless it's in such a crisis point that no one can question your decision to do it. And I wasn't one of those people. I just knew it was time to move on from this relationship. Both of us were not being authentic. We were not really present for each other. We were essentially done with this contract we had, if you will. And so for me, it was just a question of I need to move on so that I can go on to the next thing that is good for me and he can go on to the next thing that is best for him, whatever that is. The point was to not stay in a place that wasn't good for us anymore, that none of us, even my daughter especially, was not benefiting from anymore because we were play acting. So in regards to the word, I remember that even I struggled to say it. When my now ex-husband eventually cornered me after months of watching me spiral in this crazy misery that I was in and him not understanding what was happening, and I really didn't know, but I did know. Those of you who get this, you're going to get this if you're in the space of not knowing when it's time to leave or wondering if you need to leave or whatever it is. I just couldn't say it. When he finally again cornered me and said, "What is going on with you? What is happening?" The best I could do was, I think what I said was, "I don't think I want to be married anymore." I couldn't say the word divorce. Now, why was that? And I found it interesting because it's actually a language thing that I found with most people is avoiding the D word. Well, here's the thing about the word divorce. And any good therapist at any point, is going to get you to understand that what you feel around it immediately upon either initiating divorce or it's after the divorce is shame. We shame ourselves about having done this thing that everybody's frowning on. Other people are shaming us because we didn't, quote, stick it out. I love that term. Like it's a chore that you need to stick with no matter what. But there's a bridge between the word divorce and the shame, and that is the feeling of failure. We even talk about it that way. We'll talk about other people saying, yeah, she had like 3 failed marriages behind her, so she decided to move, or whatever it is. And then even when talking about ourselves, I've heard people say, well, my marriage failed and I just decided to whatever. We actually perpetuate this idea, stay married, no matter how disingenuous the relationship has become, no matter how unhappy everyone has become, even if there are affairs happening or there's elements of abuse happening, the reluctance to leave is stunning. There's a crippling effect to it, and that word divorce, I really believe, has some play in that. Now, I want to be clear that I'm a romantic at heart. I hope I find love. I'm not anti-marriage at all. I think it's a pretty cool thing when you are actually able to, combine your life with someone like that and be totally committed. Though I have seen that level of commitment in non-married people. They've been together 25 years and they're solid. So again, it's this man-made construct, and I don't necessarily think it's absolutely vital to the structure of our civilization. And I know there's people who would think that I'm a horrible person for saying that, so this is not your video. But what it got me to think about was that what is it? Why do we feel such failure? What is that? And it goes back to this idea of sticking it out. we don't quit. You don't just quit things. Like, you're not allowed to quit things that are hurting you. That's crazy. The relationship has to be real. It should be real. And I find it so sad that we choose to stay in a place that doesn't feel real or authentic or good or healthy, edifying, beneficial in any way, except that I don't want to fail. I don't want people to think I'm a failure. My family will never forgive me. What will her friends think? And it's all about this shame and this feeling of failure around this word. Here's the point of all of this. If you are someone like this client that I had come to me, wondering if it was time for him to leave, trying to figure out the timing and what's right and what's wrong, what about my kids? But he's already gone in a lot of ways because he knows that the expiration date has come. And a female friend of mine who's wondering, how will I know? How did you know? How do I know it's time to go? If you are in any space like that, that you are constantly thinking, oh my God, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't love this person like I should. I know I don't. I don't love anybody else, but I don't love this person like I should. My kids are living in a lie. I don't know how would I tell people? And you find yourself in the spin of trying to figure out and justify, how do I leave? Give this some thought. Everything that I've just said, give it some thought. What is keeping you in the marriage? I know there's a lot of components, the kids, the money, the judgment of others, all of that. But for you yourself, how much charge and weight and power are you giving the word divorce and the meanings that humans have infused into it? Just humans. This is a man-made word in a man-made construct. It just feels important to look at in a society where I run into countless people who are staying in marriages that they really don't want to be in anymore, and they don't feel good about being in anymore, and they feel like liars, actually. And so I'll finish with this. Think about this piece. If getting a divorce, if leaving a marriage is equated with failure, so to the success side would be staying in the marriage where you are lying about how you feel and how much you want to be there. Looking at your kids every day pretending, oh, I love mommy more than anything. Oh, I wouldn't want to be with anybody but your daddy. Is that a success? Personally, I don't think so, but everybody has to come to their own decisions about your integrity. So that I'm hoping just to generate thought. That's what my videos seem to have done so far. I'm getting some great feedback about just, it's making people think, and I love that. So I hope that this works that way for whoever is meant to watch this. If you needed to hear it, I hope it helps. And again, please feel free to message me, email me, my website. Everything is listed always with every video. And if you're in pain, I hope you find your way out of it, that you fight for yourself. Give yourself the space that you need to do what you need to do for you. All right, my friends, that's it. Take good care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.